Ooh, we have a fight card on our hands this weekend. UFC 300. This is Sparta. JK, what's going on, my guy?
I'm chilling. I'm excited for this fight card. This is a long time coming. When you hear UFC 300, it's crazy. I've been watching UFC for a long ass time. So UFC 300 is a big milestone. This is like when you're playing the video games in like 2015 and you're in super late in the seasons. You're playing the career mode and it's
Mhm.
years have passed by while we're actually at UFC 300 is actually crazy.
At the press conference, one of the press conferences, Jim Miller, this guy's been around forever. He was rocking the Letterman jacket, UFC 100. He
Hmm.
was still around those days and he's still putting in the work. He's facing, it's no easy test who he's going in the cage with. He's going to fight Bobby Green. And I have some problems with Bobby Green, what he was saying at the presser, kind of taking some shots at Islam, saying, oh, he's not fighting all the time. But meanwhile, since they fought, Islam's been 7-0. And he's saying he's not taking risks, this and that. But I'm pretty sure Islam dealt with him away. I don't understand why these fighters be so salty, man. Don't make sense to me.
I think he has the excuse of he took the fight on short notice, so he could always say that, but
That's
I don't
so
think he'll ever get
lame.
back to a point where he's fighting Islam Makhachev.
Like Bobby Green, like he's a funny dude. Like I remember when he was on the UFC preview show and then Mackenzie Dern was hopping on the scale and the mask. You
Yeah,
remember that? He's like,
yeah, yeah,
damn.
yeah. He's entertaining still,
He's funny.
and my I don't really the UFC press conferences nowadays just feel weak because like the journalists ask such silly questions. Like
Mm.
mans are asking about WrestleMania. Like, come on. They asked
You
Dana White like questions that's just like, why are you asking this at a UFC 300 press conference? This is what you should ask at like the post fight press conference, if anything. And just such softball questions, media members trying to be stars and just asking dumbass questions. It's annoying.
That's what I'm saying. All that credential crap is overrated, man. You need to get me and you over there asking some
Yeah,
real questions.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's embarrassing what some of these guys are asking. Like, I don't know. It's foolish and yeah, they have a name, so they're obviously first to ask questions, second to ask questions, automatically get into those pressers. But come on, man. Dana, yo, you gotta get Mandem in there, ask some real questions, have these guys answer real dogs. All right. I want to talk about two former champions going at it, Cody Garbrandt and Davison Figueiredo. Mighty Mouse, I heard on his podcast the other day, he said MMA is the one sport where it's easiest to become champion. These guys became champion at one time, and I kind of agree with you what he's saying, but I look at it like this. I think it's the sport where it's easiest to lose that championship belt.
Yeah.
These guys, they were on top of the world, which seems like a long time ago now, not even on the main card. It just shows you how quick, just like that, you could be on the top of the mountain like Rocky, and then out of nowhere, you're at rock bottom. We see it with dogs like Kamaru. We've seen it with Francis. Even though Francis lost in boxing, but right now he's down bad, let's be honest. And even Izzy, like Izzy's down bad also. What do you see happening in this fight? And I'll be honest, Cody's been out for a lot. Like he's not active, but he has won his last two fights.
Oh,
Where you going with this? You got Bobby lined
um,
up?
I I think it's gonna be tough for Jim Miller, but Bobby Green also nearly got killed his last fight
Hmm.
against Jolin Turner. The referee was so late to stop it. Herb Dean was just watching him get punched for at least like five, eight punches too late. And coming off a knockout like that, and Jim Miller, he has the confidence of being able to retire. He won at UFC 100, 200. He won his last fight, and he's also got a couple TKOs in his last few fights. He's doing some nice things. And Bobby Green's chin, I don't know if it'll be able to hold up if he gets caught clean, but also Jim Miller might not be able to keep up with Bobby Green's footwork. So Bobby Green could piece him up and win a decision. I don't see Bobby Green knocking him out,
Hmm.
but I could see Bobby Green cruising a decision win.
Okay.
But the it's written in the script for Jim Miller to win. You know, retire, winning all three because you have that grit, that mentality. Because I don't think Bobby Green's going away anytime soon.
No,
But
nah.
recently, besides Poirier, I'm not liking how these fighters have been performing when they're talking about this is like my last few fights. I'm retiring this fight, and so I'm gonna go with Bobby Green by decision. I think he'll come back and piece up Jim Miller. But back to Figueiredo and Garbrandt. Garbrandt's Garbrandt came up in a time where the 135-pound division was so much different.
Hmm.
You know, you look at his record and you see Thomas Almeida on there, see guys like that, and it's just very outdated to what the 135-pound division is now. And going down to 125 and getting knocked out by Kai Kara France, his chin is just way too vulnerable for me to pick him in this fight.
Yeah.
And Figueroa has that power, and he's disciplined. So I could see him just outclassing Cody Garbrandt and even knocking him out, getting him out of there in the second round. I don't see Cody Garbrandt staying in there too long. And he likes to stay and swing way too much.
He loves
Figueroa is
it.
there to be hit, but I think Figueroa is smart enough and he works with a team that's smart enough to be able to take advantage of Cody Garbrandt's style. The way Rob Font fought Cody Garbrandt and pieced him up, and the way that Davison Figueroa was able to get by Rob Font, I see. I just think that Davison Figueroa is a level above Cody Garbrandt as of right now.
Yeah. I I don't know who I'd pick in this fight, but I do agree that Cody losing to Pedro Munoz also. You know what I'm saying? Like he obviously he's had a tough road. He's lost. I don't really count those TJ losses because he was roided up and stuff, but he's just swinging wildly. And that is why I think Dana keeps him and hasn't cut him yet.
Yeah,
Because at any given moment, he could knock you out because he's gonna throw. And we all remember that classic knockout he had back during COVID in the Apex. The
against Rafael Assunção.
yes, right at the
But
bell.
I look at wins like that, and you should be getting Rafael Assunção out of there, especially at that
Mm,
point of his career. So
mm.
I see a win like that, and that's different than going out there and outstriking a guy and outclassing him and timing him and catching him. That knockout is just it's a beautiful knockout, but how many times are you going to see that? You know what I mean? And I don't think he's going to catch Davison Figueroa like that. I think Davison's going to be locked in and switched on
And I think
and
that
just get him out of there.
I just think that's why Dana keeps him around, just because he still has
That grit.
power.
He has
And
that dog in
yeah,
him.
exactly. And he's not scared to get knocked out. And yeah, he's people want to see him. He's like tattered from head to toe. But yeah, let's talk. You were talking about retirement. What about Holly Holm? Is this a retirement fight for Holly Holm? Because she is going up against two-time gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist, PFL legend, 16-1 career MMA record, Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison, she's the real deal. Like you see her in the weigh-ins, you see her on the scale, she's deezed. She's bigger than
Mm-hmm.
Max.
Yeah.
She is a damn animal, man. And I see Holly Holm having no chance. But do you feel like she still has some gas left in the tank? Or do you think Kayla retires her?
Um, Something I also forgot to put in my other predictions is there's some 300K bonuses being handed out.
Oh
So you're gonna
yeah.
have some people going for broke out here. And Kayla Harrison she never fought at 135 ever in her competitive career. So this is her first time cutting down to 135, got to 136, and she was looking trained. And of all those muscles, I just think of how tired her muscles are going to be after the first round. Holly Holm is no slouch. I think she's there to be knocked out by fighters with by girls with big power, but I don't see her if she makes it out the first round. I can see Kayla Harrison being way too tired to keep up with Holly Holm, and I can see Holly Holm just staying on her bike and sticking and moving and outclassing Kayla Harrison and winning the second and third round. I'm interested to see how Kayla Harrison looks in the second and third round. It's after that weight cut, she was looking depleted, and if she gets Holly Holm down and ground and pounds her in the first round, I could see that. But if Holly Holm makes it ugly and gets it out of that first round and it's in that second round and that third round, I could see her teetering a decision. And with that big favorite, women's MMA, these big favorites are good to bet against, man. And I don't mind Holly Holm in this one. To be honest, I don't mind her at all.
Wow, that's surprising. Holly Holm is in the whole card. She's the underdog. The no, she's the second biggest underdog
Yeah,
on this entire card, but you still have some hope in her. We'll see what happens there. How about former champ Aljamain Sterling going up in weight against, look at your face. You're disappointed when I say Aljamain Sterling, huh? I'm disappointed
um,
too. Like, I don't know. Have you seen him betted? He like had something like, what is that staff? Like what's going on there?
you know what I realized? These UFC fighters are nasty, yo. I seen O'Malley talking about how he went to the club and he didn't bathe
Yeah, he just
after
went right
that
after
last
the
fight.
fight. Dirty
You know
water.
that Benoit Saint Denis has staph infection?
Yes, and it looks like Aljo has staff.
So like Wagwan here. And Aljo, I seen he's been competing in some grappling matches. He beat Chase Hooper in a grappling match. He lost
Yeah,
one and he won one before that. So I think he's gonna come out looking to grapple against Calvin Cater. And
but
I don't I don't know if I like the the size difference.
did
I
you
never
see
I
how much he was towering over Aljo in that stare down?
Yeah, like that is a that is a tough fight for Aljo. I don't think Aljo's gonna be able to do too much outside of just taking Calvin Cater's back and making it that type of fight. This is a must win fight for him. This is a big thing for him. If he loses this fight, what's next for him? I don't see him going back to 135 and getting a title shot. If he beats Calvin Cater, he can argue for a number one contender fight and maybe go against Ilya Taporia. And I think he matches up against Ilya Taporia better than a Calvin Cater, maybe, because I could just see Calvin Cater sticking on the outside and just boxing up Aljo. I don't think Aljo's striking is good enough to be able to stand with the 145ers, and
Nah, hell no.
watching him close that distance is going to be ugly. Because watching him close that distance against Sean O'Malley, even though Sean O'Malley's big power, this is a move up, and you're just coming off of being knocked out, and you're going up in weight class. So what's your confidence going to be like to be able to take those shots? And Calvin Cater is a solid boxer, and he'll he might start off slow, and then he comes around and he gets stronger as the fight goes on. 5'11" to 5'7", 36 years old, 34 years old. I don't I don't know how this is gonna go for Aljo in his featherweight debut. I think Calvin Cater gets him out of there in about like I could see a second round TKO, third round like second round, third round TKO
I think it's
or decision.
embarrassing that his last fight was the main event, and now he is on the prelims. Not only does that show Dana doesn't rate him, but that shows that this is a bad situation for him, especially going up in weight. So he really has to prove that he could bang with the 145ers because if not, who knows what's gonna happen next? He's gonna be like a steady fight night guy if he can't get a result or a good
Yeah,
show in here. And one thing, why does he still have that green in his hair? Like you got dealt with, you got knocked out with that in your hair against Sugar. Take the damn like we don't care if you rep Yard because we know you're not Yard. Take that green crap out of your hair. What's wrong with this guy? It didn't go well for you the first time. I don't know if it's gonna go well for you the second time. Switch it up, man. Not even the best guy in his camp no more. It's Marab.
yeah.
Like that. I'm like,
And Marab's and you see how Marab's moving on social media? He's
Marab
funny.
is bro.
He's
The
showing
it's
more of his
booming. His
personality.
numbers are booming. He's at like
You see him and Paulo
750
Costa
now.
stealing each other's food at the
Bro,
PI. I was like, yo, this is funny.
nah.
But who do you think wins, Calvin Cater or Aljo?
I got Calvin Cater. I have Calvin Cater. Not just because Aljo pissed me off and he has staff, but I just think the difference in size. And I also think that Calvin Cater, he knows it's time for him to make a run. You know what I'm saying? As you mentioned, their age, it's time for him to make a run. There's a new champion. He's never had this stardom before. Put some pressure on him. Put some pressure on him. Beat a former champion and let the champion really think, oh, should I take a risk against this guy, Calvin Cater? I think Calvin Cater beats him by decision. I think
Yeah,
he
me too.
can stop Aljo, but I think Aljo has something to prove, and I think Cater beats him by decision. That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, yeah, let's make our way to the main card. We have so much fights to talk about. Again, it's a historic card. UFC 299 was pretty epic, but this card is just there's gonna be no card like this in the near future. Like, you really think Dana's ever gonna go from 50K bonuses to 300K bonuses ever again?
yeah.
Probably not. Probably not. I let's talk about your guy, man. Your guy, Armand. Your guy, my fault. Armand's not your guy. Your guy, Charles Oliveira
Yeah, there we go. The
versus
Bronx.
Armand. So one thing about these two guys, they have a few mutual opponents. They both stopped Benil Dariush, and they both lost to my guy, Islam. So who has more on the line here? Arman or Charles?
I think Charles has way more on the line. I think Charles has more on the line just because he is, 34 years old. He's taken a lot of damage. He
Hmm.
has the loss to Islam, and I think Arman Sarukian looked better. No one can contest that. And even though Islam was younger, I think Arman Sarukian looked better in his fight against Islam Makhachev than Charles did. Um, for me, this is a tough fight because I think Arman Sarukian is very skilled, but I really do like Charles Oliveira, and I don't know if Arman Sarukian stand up like the Mateusz Gamrot fight. Now that I've seen how Mateusz Gamrot has how his fights have gone, I don't know if the stand up will be too much of a competitive matchup for them. I think Charles is going to be out there throwing elbows, uh, throwing these unorthodox shots, and just putting the pressure on him. And I don't know how Arman Sarukian's gas tank is going to look up. He was looking shredded in his workouts. There's some USADA testing that hasn't been going on. USADA's gone now, so the drug testing agencies who knows what they're testing for now.
Mhm.
Armand is looking shredded,
Mhm.
and Charles takes a lot of damage. So there's also that. He's there to get hit, and
He's dropped a lot.
I don't think Armand will be afraid to go on the ground and finish the fight should he knock down Charles Oliveira, and that's something that has kind of saved Charles Oliveira in a lot of his fights, like the fight against Justin Gaethje. Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler did go down with him, but not he didn't go into his guard the way Islam just handled him. Islam went out there and just situated Charles. And with that being said, uh, I like Charles,
Ooh.
but I don't know if I can trust his chin for this fight. But I'm rocking with my boy. I'm saying Charles by TKO.
Why does everyone
Arman's
hate
gonna.
Arman so much?
I, I just think it's the love for Charles, you know. And Arman, I could see it getting to that. I could see it getting to the later rounds, or even if it gets there, where Charles just putting the pressure on him and his eyes are wide and the moment's big. It's UFC 300. He's fighting against a former champion, and this fight means a lot. And Charles, you see how emotional he is. Like he needs to get that belt back, and he wants that belt back, and it's so close. You
Chill.
know, Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje are right there, just looking to steal that title shot. So there's a lot banking on this fight for Charles. So I'm gonna go with the experience of Charles, and we're going with that underdog,
Wait, get what belt back?
the lightweight belt back.
From who though?
Islam.
Islam is not losing to Charles. Islam is not losing to nobody, bro. Islam is a champ for as long as he's playing, as long as he's on UFC roster. Top dog, top dog. But one thing I will say, Arman, yes, he looks like he's been trained, like he's been in the gym. I know he's, as you mentioned, he's lost to Gamrot and he got outclassed by Islam, but he did put up a better fight. I don't know. I think this moment might be a little too big for him. But if Arman does win, all the haters, all those people that are going for Islam and booing Arman, they have to put respect on this Arman guy's name. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, next fight. We're gonna skip BMF fight for now. Get back to it. Let's talk about the shorties. All Chinese affair here, man.
Yeah,
Wei Li Zhang facing.
Yan Xiaonan.
I'm not sure how you say her name,
Yan
but
Xiaonan.
she is a problem. She is a problem. I don't think this is easy for Wei Li, man.
Ah,
Especially, and I understand that everybody that Whaley's gonna fight is gonna be bigger than her because she's like, come on, she's like 4'5", she's like 4'6", she's a midget, but she is a tank. Like I feel like she's getting smarter every fight, even though she's had a couple of losses on her career. It's not like she's just swinging wildly. Like she's good on the ground now. I feel like she's just more calculated as a fighter.
she's the most well-rounded fighter in this
Yeah.
division,
Yeah.
and Yan Xiaonan likes to she'll go out there and swing, and I could see Whaley just taking her down and outclassing her and beating her up on the ground, using her wrestling and not even needing to strike. But this is women's MMA, and those heavy favorites sometimes they go out there and they miraculously get stopped. So you never know. But I'm rocking with Willie Zhang. I'm Willie Zhang by I'll say ground and pound. Let's say third
Really.
round, third round finish.
Sheesh. Yeah, if there's an upset I would pick, I'll be honest, it would be this fight. Just because two people from the same country, you see that she's training. She's in Uriah Faber's camp there with Jan Sedong. I I have all the respect in the world for Wei Li Zhang, but women's MMA is unpredictable. She has the size advantage, and yeah, man, I just feel like the moment every single time Wei Li Zhang fights, it's like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this moment might get the best of her. So the only real underdog I'm going for in this card, I would have to say it's this one.
Damn.
Yeah, it's this one. Okay,
Um, Gaethje, to me, Gaethje gets outclassed or outstruck by everybody that he fights, besides like a Tony Ferguson, James Vick, Edson Barbosa, and I don't. Justin Gaethje doesn't present as much of a like that much of a threat to me. I've watched his whole career since he first got to the UFC, and I've always seen holes in his game that better strikers take advantage of. And he happened to knock out Dustin Poirier last fight, and that was good. But Max Holloway is ready for this fight now. He's been training, he's been building himself up, bulking himself up. He said on the Mighty Mouse podcast that he's been taking his creatine, and he's going to be ready for this move to 155. And I think he's going to post up Justin Gaethje. I can
What?
see the first second round him maybe getting caught with some shots that are like ooh, but I think he's going to be cruising, and we're going to see a classic Max Holloway performance, and he's going to have that BMF belt. And who knows, he might call out Islam. Who knows? Who knows? But
Bro,
I think he's gonna
follow
bust up
Islam for
Justin
what
Gaethje.
though? Just to call him out, not to
You
fight
didn't
him.
see Islam. You didn't see Islam's talking. Islam's talking crazy. Islam's sitting on
Islam's
the
allowed
sideline
to
and
talk
talking
however he
crazy.
wants.
No, he's talking crazy. He needs to come back and fight. He's defending it. He's there defending his belt against Volkanovski, beating up poor 145 Volkanovski, having Volkanovski talking about how he's getting depressed when he doesn't fight, so he's just taking fights just because he can. Volkanovski came back. Max Holloway said it. Volkanovski came back after getting knocked out and then fought and got knocked out again. I respect to Volkanovski. He went on his shield. Went on his shield like my guy Wilder. Even though Wilder got cheated the first two fights against Fury, came back the third one and he went on his shield.
I,
And that's what I have to respect. I have to respect the champion's mindset. Max Holloway has the champion's mindset, and he's gonna go out there. He's gonna put the beat the brakes off Justin Gaethje.
no way. There's no way Justin Gaethje is losing to Max Holloway. Max Holloway is a legend in the sport for sure. But bro, if we're talking about Volkanovski, then I'm gonna bring it up. He lost 3 times to him. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't beat him in 3 matchups, just the same as Wilder and Fury. We're gonna stick to MMA though. Justin Gaethje, the guy has heavy hands, man. Is Max gonna be able to handle it? Yes, I know Max doesn't get stopped. Like he faced Volk all those times he didn't get stopped, but this is a 155er. And not only is a 155er, but this guy's a steady contender, like always #1 contender, always wants the biggest fights. Yes, sometimes it doesn't look the best the way he fights, like not as skilled as Max, of course. But most big challenges for this guy, other than Islam, he's coming through. Came through against Dustin, came through against Michael Chandler. I think this is another one that gets him closer to that title fight. I do respect that Dustin won his last fight, so Dustin deserves next. And I'm pretty sure Ali said one time backstage, he's like, yeah, see you in July. So hopefully we get Islam versus Dustin. And then he's going to be a GOAT. And when Justin wins this fight, after Dustin, he's going to fight Justin. That's what champs do, man. I can see that happening. I can see
Yeah,
that
I'm
happening. Let's
not
get
gonna.
to the main event.
Yeah,
Jamal Hill, Alex Ferreira. How do you feel about Jamal Hill asking for that signature on his shirt? Petty? Are people being too childish, making it a big deal? What's your
what you
thoughts
said,
on
Jamal
that?
Hill asking for the signature on the sweater?
Yes, he asked
Well,
Alex Pereira for a
people
signature.
don't want to. Yo, this is what I rate Jamal Hill. You already know he has the Jamaican heritage. Yo, when he pop up, you go to Caravana, you see the Jamaicans selling their flag. Yo,
Mm,
he's out there getting everybody to sign the
mhm,
sweater.
mhm.
That's worth bare money.
Okay.
That's the Jamaican hustle in him. That's
Yes, it
Jamal
is.
Hill. He's a boss. He's a
I
beast.
I
And it wasn't like, and people are saying like, oh, he's being fake, but it's like, nah. People don't understand. Yo, you go about it, and this is respect. 'Cause at the end of the day, these guys are doing business.
for
It's not
sure.
like they ever had beef before. They're
Mhm.
coming in to really save a card that had no main event. So it's like just do some business. Jamal Hill is coming off a ACL tear, and and I'm worried about him, but he has to cash out. He has to
I
cash out for this.
that's definitely a
Or
collect
Achilles tear. Sorry, not ACL. Achilles.
Achilles. You know, Achilles is dangerous, man. Like
Yeah.
some people don't come back to sports, period. But yeah, nah, as you said, that's a collector's item. You know what I'm saying? That's a collector's item, historic card. And it's kind of funny because Alex Pereira's face is like, yo, who this guy? What he doing? He asking me. You know what I mean? He has that stone cold look every single time.
Yeah.
But nah, I respect Jamal Hill. And the thing is, this is the difference between MMA and boxing. MMA, a guy is coming off that injury, he's doing a tune-up. I mean, you boxing, a guy comes off that injury, he's doing a tune-up. MMA,
Yeah.
they're going straight for the top dogs.
Yeah.
So I respect this guy, Jamal Hill. Who do you got in this fight? Do you think
Um,
Jamal Hill has it in him to beat Pereira on his comeback fight?
um, I think this is Jamal Hill's come in on. I'm pretty sure the Glover fight was on short notice too, so it's not like he's used to having a full fight camp. But coming off the Achilles tear, I'm nervous for him. Alex has been active, although I'm not completely impressed with Alex's performances at 205 though.
I
You know what
wasn't
I mean?
impressed with that fight against Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, Jan Blachowicz, the year he won, yeah, he caught him, but I don't see Jamal Hill putting himself in that situation. And maybe Alex is gonna kick the legs off Jamal Hill,
Hmm.
and we see him get that classic KO. But with how it's near even. Jamal Hill's plus money. Alex Pereira is very hittable. It's you seen Jamal Hill can knock people out, and Alex Pereira is very hittable. And if the fight gets into the grappling exchanges, I see Jamal Hill coming out on top. I see Jamal Hill just having more dog in him to go out there and get it. Because he seems like he's the type of person that wants to prove the people wrong.
Yeah,
He's coming like you you're coming off of people already saying that you didn't beat Yuri for the belt. Ariel Hawani was saying a little nonsense about, yeah, he didn't beat Yuri for the belt, da 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 da, making his little jokes at Yuri about how he can't really consider himself the real champion. So you have people doubting you there. Everyone's a Poatan fan and loves the stone face. You've seen Jamal bring up
that was
the
lit.
little,
That was
the
lit.
stone and then smash that on the ground.
That was lit.
And and it's a scary fight for Jamal Hill, but Pereira is very hittable, and I'm I'm gonna go with my boy Jamal Hill. He's
Yeah.
talking to Izzy. He's getting the advice. He's
Getting
talking
the
to who he
inside
wants to talk
scoop.
to. Yeah, he's getting the inside scoop.
I like that because it makes me feel like Izzy's gonna come back soon. And that's what I want to see. But at the end of the day, UFC 300, what a card. Every fight is gonna be it's gonna be so crazy, man. Like from prelims to main card day they came through. You already know what we do. Subscribe and like and share. We off this.